before we begin, we're going to go into individual caucus. So I'm just going to meet with both of you like one-on-one and just pretend like you can't hear what the other person's saying, okay? So, you want to start with Mary? Sure. We've got a little wall here. Okay, Mary, so I just want to start off by saying like, anything you tell me will be in confidentiality unless you tell me otherwise. So, let's just start off by telling me your side of the story, what happened.
When my father was dying, I felt like I intervened with John's suggestions because he was the caretaker at the time. And this caused a rift between us. And at the moment, I have some property that was given to me from my father, and the value is estimated to be at around $800,000.
Okay.
And John over here on the other side of this wall, the one where he can't hear us through,
Yes.
has $1.4 million in value. And as a mistake my father made, there's 100 acres that aren't divisible due to local laws.
Sure.
That is up for grabs. And I feel like I need this property as a part of my solution to this whole mess before the government takes it.
Okay, so what's like your end goal in mediation? What do you think like will be the ideal outcome for you?
Either I get the land or I walk away from everything and let the government take it.
Okay, well, that'd be a shame. It was your father's land. I'm sure you want to keep it in the family. So
it's what he would want. He was an indigenous tribe specialist, I guess you would say.
So you would really like to see the land?
Yeah, give it back to the tribe. That's charity. That's God's work.
Does
right
it
there.
have to be the 100-acre land, or would you? Be
all of
to
it.
give
All of it.
All 200.
Well, the government, as stated, if we can't come to a resolution, all of it would go to.
Not all of it, just the 100-acre one, right? Because you got the 50, he got the 100, or you got the 100, he got the 50.
Yeah, but if
so
I
far.
believe correctly, if we can't settle it in court, it's cheat to the government.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The 100 acres for sure. So, okay. Well, thank you very much. I'll meet with you. I'll meet with John separately. Spend around the same amount of time with him, and then we'll meet as a group again next week.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. Okay. Hello, John.
Hello.
How are you today? I just want to start off by saying anything you tell me will be in confidence unless you tell me otherwise. So let's just begin. Tell me your perspective of what's happened so far.
So, when my dad passed away, he didn't specify. He had a few pieces of land. He did divide some things up with me and Mary. He gave me 1.25 million in gold bars. I'm saving that for, I'm hoping to have my own kind of curation in the museum that I'm at now. So I want to save that and put that towards that project. And then he did give me 50 acres of land also, and he gave Mary 100 acres.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing is for me is the 100 acres he left. He didn't put, he didn't specify where that'll go to, and I don't really care for the 50 acres I have. I'd rather have that 100 acres. There's a lot more, there's a lot of history on that land.
For sure, yeah, absolutely.
So, and I think there's artifacts too on that land, so that'd be another thing. He's like maybe adding that to the museum collection that I'm at.
The artifacts that he left in the will, is that the one you're talking about?
No, there's like potential like artifacts on the land. It was like an ancient like Native American site.
On the 100-acre one or the 50-acre one?
On the 100-acre one.
Okay.
And I know Mary talked about like building, a hotel on it or something. I want to preserve the land. I feel like she would, the land is kind of, it has like some public, it's in like the public spotlight with Native Americans that want it, or they claim rights to it. And I want to preserve that for them and, give them that right.
Okay.
And Mary mentioned, she might want to develop it or do something with it, and I think it'd be a shame if she has, the tourist attraction, they're walking all over the land, it's an ancient burial site.
So your ideal outcome would be to...
I'd like to take the 100 acres, or not, I don't want to say take, but inherit the 100 acres, and kind of preserve it.
And excavate and potentially build a museum there?
Yeah.
Museum?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that way the land would be preserved and not interrupted by whatever Mary would be building.
And also, I don't want to say appease, but for lack of a better word, it's not appease, like I think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it, so it would go back to the natives. Like, in some regard, like it would be considered
Yeah.
as their burial ground. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I think that'll be great. If you're ready now, we can go back into the general meeting with Mary. Okay. Hello, welcome both. I had the opportunity to speak with you both separately, and I think I have like a rough understanding of what's happened so far. So, before we begin in this big joint meeting, I just want to reinforce that you both are here of your own volition. So there's nothing keeping you here. We're here as a step to avoid long legal battles, pretty much, and hopefully settle this between us. I'm here as a facilitator. This by no means is an arbitration, so I will not be deciding anything on your behalf. This will be on you to come to a mutual agreement that will hopefully be mutually beneficial for you both. Okay, so let's just begin. So it seems like the main issue on the table here is the 100 acres that your father has left unclaimed. Mary, let's start with you. What would you like to see happen with that 100 acres?
For me, it really depends on how the rest of the things that we have given to us by our father is divided. You said you don't care about the 100 acres at one point. I remember
50
you mentioned
acres.
when we had coffee with our father. The 50 acres. Okay, great. 50 acres are valued at what? 300,000?
I believe so.
Okay.
So 100 acres would be around $600,000.
I think the 100 acres valued at 300, the 50 is 150, if I remember correctly. Am I correct if I'm wrong? It's on the edge.
It is. So the 50 acres is $150,000. You're correct, and then the other 200 acres each are valued at $300,000. So
Each.
100 acres each, so totaling $750,000 for
Yep.
the 200 acres. Yes. Okay. John, would you have anything to say to what Mary just said?
You care about the land, and you care about the artifacts.
So there was an additional 2 artifacts left to Mary, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken, correct?
Yes.
2 artifacts in your possession. Cool.
Do you care about those artifacts?
I do a
do?
lot.
Yeah.
I think it'd be, I mean, as you know, I'm at the museum right now, and
And
it'd
you
be-
want the
it'd be a big
50
deal if we got
acres.
those artifacts.
And you want the 50 acres for a museum?
I think, so I would like the 100 acres to, preserve the land, excavate it, and kind of just to keep its historical significance.
And what
like,
about the other 100 acres?
The other 100 acres, I'd rather have the other 100 acres.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just make sure we have everything right on the table so far. We've established that John, you're not too keen on keeping 50 acres,
Mm-hmm.
and Mary, it doesn't seem like you're too keen on holding on to the 2 artifacts that you received from your father.
Yeah.
So
They're valued at what again?
Um, it is $150,000 for the acres, and then I don't know how much the artifacts are worth, but I assume their historical value is significant. So would it be too much of an outreach to suggest some sort of trade possibility?
I think this would be a great opportunity for a trade. You don't seem to value the same things I value. I don't value the same things you value. I'd be more than happy to give you the artifacts back and have you keep the 50 acres in exchange for the gold. And the 100 acres you seem not to care
In
about.
exchange for the gold, you said, so you would
So-
I'm sorry.
So you can have the 50 acres and do the hotel there.
I don't care about the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't care about the hotel
What about the
because
50 acres? You don't want to.
you want me to give up the 50 acres?
No, I'll give you my 50 acres.
You have 100 acres.
I have 100
There's
acres.
2 separate 100
Yeah.
acre parcels.
Okay. Well, I think this is
So-
going very well so far. Yeah.
So this is, if you don't care for the 50 acres, I don't mind selling it. Market value right now for my 50 acres is 150. So if you don't want to deal with that, I can, bring on my broker and see what we can get for it.
What
I
about the
think-
gold? If you give me the gold and I exchange everything I have and allow you to keep the 50 acres, we'll be even. 1.25, 1.25.
Well, it doesn't have to
You
be.
get to keep the land, you get to keep the indigenous artifacts, and you get to excavate them as you want. You can put them in your museum that you're gonna build, and you'll have the 50 acres that you could sell to fund your project that you don't care about.
If I may intrude, it doesn't have to be so black and white. You guys can expand your possibilities a little bit. Like you could incorporate the Native American tribes to this plan as an added third component. So it would mean that you would be able to host a museum on native land, preserving it in the 100 acres, and you would be able to benefit from the investments on the 300,000 from claiming the 100 acres. As I understand
Repeat that for me.
you're
Like a business savvy, like investor.
You're a business savvy investor,
Yeah.
so you could combine your total wealth to invest.
But I'm not interested in that. I'd rather have the gold as a stock.
Okay.
I can't invest in the
part of your
hotels. Yeah, I can't invest in the hotels. Okay, I would like to invest in gold. I
So
think it'd be great holdings for my portfolio.
Okay.
So cash value for the artifacts and the 100 acres, what would be your bottom line?
For the artifacts and the 100 acres. Can I get that sheet again? If you don't mind?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. You want the 100 acres, both of them?
Just the
Oh.
one that
Is that-
Yeah,
You just
it's
want
specified.
one.
Leaving the other one to you, Mary.
Its land, its market value is 300,000. I can, add. I mean,
Yeah, okay. And I get 700. I get $1 million in gold. You keep the 250,000 and build your museum. I get 100,000, right? I keep the 50 acres,
Mm-hmm.
and I keep 100 acres.
Okay.
You get the 100 acres, you get the artifacts, and you get $250,000 in gold.
Let me just get this down
Hold on.
one more time. So
Just-
You get $1 million in gold. You get 200. No, you get $250,000 in gold.
oh, whoa, okay.
$50,000 in gold.
Yeah, you get 250,000. I keep $1 million. All right, you keep the indigenous artifacts. You want the 100 acres, right?
So
300,000.
The one with Native American like ties, right? Because there was one that was not.
Yeah, the one that you want. The one that you want. Right?
Yes.
And then I keep $1 million. I keep
gold.
Yeah, and then I keep $300,000 worth of property
plus
and the 50 acres, which is also 150,000. How much does that come out in total?
You kind of lost me. There's a lot of moving pieces. Here.
Okay, so I get the $150,000 50 acres. Okay.
The one that's currently John's.
Yeah. Give it up. You don't care about it.
the 50 acres.
Yeah. You don't care about it.
Yeah,
All right.
you could
So write that
potentially-
down.
potentially
Write that
develop
down.
it.
Write that down. I get the 50 acres.
So that 1 second.
That is $300,000. No, it's 150,000. Excuse me, 150K. Okay, I get $1 million worth of gold.
1 second.
So that means John gets 250K worth of gold.
1, 2, 5.
I get 100 acres. You get 100 acres, right?
1.2.
Yes.
So that's 300K each.
And then you're saying, sorry, and then I would get the 300. So that's minuses. I'm just trying to do some basic math. 650, and that brings me up to.
And then you get the artifacts, which is 500K.
Okay, let's start from. So
Yeah.
I would get the 100 acres.
You get the 100
Plus the
acres,
artifacts.
250K worth of gold, and 500K worth of artifacts.
Okay, that's easier to do it this way. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. 1 second. Just give me a second.
I just gotta add these up.
So while this may even out like monetary wise, does this represent like your interests Like, this is
I
what you
just want to
out
make
of this
money,
mediation.
and
You wanna
if
make
at the end of the
money.
day this settles our relationship and I can be closer to John, that's great.
Okay, well that's really nice to hear. And John, you really just want to see the preservation of the land and
Yeah, that's
hopefully
my
build a
big-
museum.
That's my biggest thing is the land and at least having some cash value to, grow that, my curation in the future, my museum curation
Sure.
and fund those projects,
So
yeah.
by divvying up the gold, you'll still get 250K capital. And she'll get the 1 million, so you'll be able to start a museum wing, right? An extension is what you said.
250, yeah,
So you can do that as capital.
1 second, so and then you're keeping that 300K.
It's 100 acre, yep. Okay.
1 second, let me just.
Would you be interested in helping John?
This is the deal I want.
Would you be interested in helping John
This
on
is
the
the deal.
financial
This
side?
is the deal I want.
The deal you want?
This is the deal I want.
So you're happy with it?
I want
financially?
50 acres, $1 million worth of gold stock, and 100 acres.
Okay.
Oh, and you're keeping 100, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You don't want the 100
Plus
acres?
150, I forgot about that, okay, 1 second.
How are you feeling about each other? Like, is there any further resentments? Like, do you think that this deal would be?
This deal would be
Sustainable?
satisfactory. I give John the ability to pursue his passion, and I have the ability to pursue mine.
And you have good faith that he'll live up to his end of the deal, and that you
So-
can sustain this
Yes, I believe so contractually.
contractually. Okay.
Yeah.
So you would okay.
So-
Sign over the land.
Yeah.
I'm willing to, so your total market value for what the agreement you mentioned is that for you it's 1.45
Yes.
million. I'm at 1,050,000.
Yeah, but there are lawyer fees that I will pay. I will pay all the lawyer fees.
Okay.
What's the current fees looking at right now?
They've racked up, man.
So that's a $300,000 difference, correct?
Yeah,
So I
$400,000 difference.
$400,000 difference. I would assume there's still some left over, just in all fairness. Would you be willing to, in good faith, share whatever is left over after legal fees, 50-50?
Or once you sell the
No.
land?
You wouldn't be able to.
No.
Okay, well this might be a hiccup for the whole plan
Okay.
here, because it has
Well,
to
it
be in
depends.
good faith.
What does John think? You get to pursue your passion. I get to pursue mine.
I'm willing to, pay a premium for that 100 acres. But that's a bit, I think.
Like
that's
to buy
pushing
it from me.
Or just the difference, I'm okay with, market value, you having more.
You know what?
market
I will
value,
sell
but-
it with you.
Mhm.
The extra 100K left over, I will sell it with you.
So you'll split it 50-50?
Yeah, I'll split that 50-50.
So you'll cover attorney fees.
I'll cover attorney fees. Let's say they're 300K. Okay, there's 100K left. I'll split 50-50 with you.
Okay.
Deal?
No, what benefit does that do me if it's just 50-50?
So-
you cover all the attorney fees, or are
I'll
you
cover
saying-
all attorney fees.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. And then the remaining, it'd
The
be
remaining will
50-50.
split 50-50.
So would you sell like the gold, or would you sell the 50 acres that you'd have? I mean, yeah, we can figure that out later.
You want the 50 acres? I thought you
No,
didn't want the 50
no, I
acres.
don't. I'm just wondering where the cash will come from. But yeah, that's fine. We can
Sell
figure
the
that
gold.
out. Okay.
Well, I just want to reaffirm that you both have been through the court system for quite some time, and it has led to no results. You've been in, it says, 9 months of battling over this land, and there are very costly court fees. So there is a very real possibility that it'll be over the amount allocated, $200,000.
Yeah, I talked to my husband. We're ready to cover that. That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think this will help your relationship moving forward? with
Yes.
the son?
Yeah.
I feel good about this. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a deal.
I made an extra 100K, bro. Let's settle in.
Okay.
Sucker John right now.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I'm fired.